All right, y'all. Welcome back to Ash Unlock. And today I wanted to talk about the mental and emotional impact of social isolation, I guess is what it comes down to. So just to get to the front of it, I seen this article, and I don't know, I'm going to look it up while I'm talking because I don't want to be like uninformed, but I know at the very least there's a vaccination lockdown that, yeah, I guess it actually happened. So Germany locked down their unvaccinated like almost 2 weeks ago, the entire country of Germany. And um yeah, so they excluded individuals from non-essential stores, activities, theaters, restaurants, limits on private gathering. Like that's keep that in mind. Private gathering, limits on private gatherings for unvaccinated individuals only. Um, so aside from like, you know, political opinion about that, I think what's really important and what I see like in my line of work, working with people who have really had a tremendously difficult time with adjusting to how life is just not nearly the same from 2 years ago. It was December 21, and this all started December 19 ish, right? So, like, these past 2 years have been crazy rough for people. And 2 years later, things are not looking much better. And when you have stuff like forced social isolation on particular individuals, I think there's more than enough evidence to support that that is harmful. Um, Take prison, for example. When people are a harm to themselves or a harm to other people, other inmates, um, correctional staff, they isolate them. They put them in social isolation as a punishment, right? And what you hear is people who never had mental health problems, or at least they weren't to the point where they were impacting their functioning, who will tell you that the walls literally start to talk to you after a while. Um, I don't think that's disputable. I think that's pretty widely accepted that isolation is a negative impact on mental health, right? Like think about like if you are in the mental health field or if you've ever had any kind of mental health treatment, when your mental health really starts to decline, then mental health professionals will start to ask you specific questions like, you know, who's your support? Because who or what are your supports, right? So what things can you kind of lean on so that you don't isolate yourself? Or they'll start to ask you questions about like, do you isolate when your mood decreases or whatever, however they word the question, depending on the assessment. But that's meant to assess for when you are kind of pulling away from the things that improve your mood. That doesn't work for you, it works against you. And so while I understand we're under a different set of circumstances than most of us have ever faced in this lifetime, the vast majority of us have ever faced in this lifetime, I think it's fair to say that people's mental health have to be considered in like how we make decisions. um and I don't think anybody knows that as well as healthcare professionals and mental health professionals. We get the blow, and really, honestly, it's seeping into different systems now. Like, a while back, I would say, like, maybe 6 years back, I worked in the courts also as a probation officer. And you don't have to have any type of like mental health background, counseling degree, or really anything like that to work in the courts. But yet, you get this huge portion of the population who have mental health problems that are untreated, undiagnosed, misidentified, right? Nurses and doctors have to be trained on things related to mental health because they get the blowback of that. Teachers, right? Education stuff. So it's not just that healthcare professionals and mental health professionals are taking the blowback of this. It's kind of oozing out of busting at the seams and showing up all over the place, just kind of everywhere. So it's safe to say that it matters how people are impacted by the things that are happening. And I think in my experience, and I don't know if anybody else is out there and they work in the mental health field or medical field too, people aren't even talking about it. Right? It's like taboo almost. I think it's becoming more normalized now, but the depth of what we're facing and not just these hot button topics or saying, it's I think sometimes it becomes commercialized almost. But really just doing the work and really understanding like what's happening around us that's creating this problem. Like we can talk about it, we can talk about solutions, but what about prevention? If you're making this huge decision for an entire country, um, a developed country at that, why aren't we discussing this huge part of this? And that's the impact of these decisions on people and their minds, which ultimately impacts their lives. So yeah, comment down below and let me know what y'all think. I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. I, you know, it's a big deal. So let me know what y'all think. If you agree, if you disagree, and make sure you like and subscribe.